This is Ryu. He's the main character of Street Fighter, one of the highest grossing video game franchises ever. He's made his mark around the world as the face of fighting games, and is arguably one of the most recognizable video game characters in the world. If there's one thing you need to know about Ryu, it's that he's in a lot of games. Like, a lot. There are so many crossovers featuring Ryu that I literally cannot list them all in a 10-minute video. Even while I was making this video, Ryu was added to another game. After all, everyone loves crossovers. Sometimes they're awesome. Sometimes they suck. But throughout all of them, the center of all crossovers in the world start with Ryu. You've probably seen this image of all franchises and media connected to each other because of crossovers. Well, my point is that Ryu is in the middle of it all, the center of our world. Because Capcom loves adding this homeless guy who fights people on the streets and everything imaginable, he is the divine angel of all connected franchises in the world. You could think of any character in any piece of media ever, and because of official crossovers, you can connect that character all the way to Ryu. So today, I'm gonna introduce you to the Ryu-universe, and connect every major part of media in the world to Ryu. Alright, to get started, for the first part of this video, I'm gonna connect Ryu to every major section of media. For the second part, I'm gonna connect multiple characters that my friends give me to Ryu by going through multiple crossovers until we reach something with Ryu in it. I'm going to classify the media in 4 main parts: video games, movies, television and shows, and everything else. Starting with video games, Ryu is easily connected to a large number of them through his crossover in Super Smash Bros. Smash Ultimate has connections to almost every Nintendo franchise ever, with big names like Mario, Zelda, and Pokemon. Smash Ultimate also connects Ryu to indie games as well through Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight, being one of the big faces of indie games, has appeared in tons of other crossovers, linking Ryu to essentially all indie games. It's not just Nintendo that Ryu has crossed over with, he also has with many other franchises and many other games. Monster Hunter being one of them. Yes, Ryu is now fighting gigantic monsters with big swords and guns. I'm sorry, I was watching the trailer for this and I don't know why this is very funny to me. Anyways, Monster Hunter has many different crossovers other than Street Fighter, like The Witcher, Horizon, Assassin's Creed, Final Fantasy, Devil May Cry, Mega Man. Yeah, you get the idea. Look, I know I can't show every crossover with Ryu ever, but just believe me when I say he's in so many big crossover games that he's just connected to basically all of them. Like, I could show someone an image of some of the most random video game characters slapped next to each other, they would tell me it's fake and I would say, no, that's just Project Cross Zone. You know, the hit collab 3DS game featuring all your favorite characters, including Ryu. It's pretty clear that Ryu has ties with a lot of big names in video games, but the same holds up for movies as well. I'm sure if you know fighting games decently, then you've heard of Marvel vs. Capcom. Marvel vs. Capcom is a fighting game series that is quite literally what the name is, Marvel against Capcom. There have been many entries to the series, but they all feature Ryu beating up tons of Marvel characters, going from big names like Captain America and Spider-Man, to some obscure picks like this weird eyeball alien dude. The point is that Ryu has crossed over with essentially the entirety of Marvel, which includes the comics, but more importantly, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The MCU is probably the biggest series of films in the world, which spans across like 10 billion movies. Even if you don't care about the MCU, and to be honest, I don't blame you if you do, Ryu has connections to other big cinematic universes as well. You see, there's this hidden gem of a game that Ryu has crossed over with, and you probably haven't heard of it, but it's called Fortnite. Fortnite, besides Smash Bros, is probably the biggest crossover game of all time, but it doesn't limit itself to just video game crossovers. Fortnite has a ton of DC characters, linking Ryu to the DC Cinematic Universe as well. Oh, and there's also the entirety of Star Wars, Ghostbusters, John Wick, Transformers, Halloween, and 10 trillion other crossovers that would take me forever to list. Well, now that we've linked Ryu to movies, let's keep talking about Fortnite, because we need to connect him to television and shows as well. Let's start with anime. Fortnite, surprisingly, has a lot of anime crossovers, and the more I talk about them, the less I believe that they're actually real. There's Naruto, Jujutsu Kaisen, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, but most importantly, Dragon Ball. I say Dragon Ball is the most important because Goku is also in Jump Force, a big anime crossover game, which I guess also includes Naruto, but yeah. Jump Force is an arena fighter, and the game kinda sucks, but what's cool about it is that it features crossovers between big Shonen Jump series. This means Ryu is connected to the big three of anime, which are One Piece, Bleach, and Naruto like I said earlier, but there's also some other well-known franchises like Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Death Note, and even Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, enough anime for now, let's talk about Western animation. Ryu actually is directly linked to some Western shows, but it's not how you'd expect. It's not through Fortnite, or any big well-known crossover, but rather a flash game called American Dad vs. Family Guy Kung Fu 2. Okay, let me explain. This game was playable on the official Family Guy website back in 2006, and yes, we're not counting any fan-made stuff. This was real. It's an official Flash fighting game that features both Family Guy and American Dad characters, while Kung Fu Fighting by Carl Douglas plays in the background. Oh yeah, and Ryu is playable too. The game is obviously a parody of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, but it is official, and people can finally play their dream of a fighting game with both Peter Griffin and Ryu in it. Yeah, I can't believe this game exists either. Anyways, because of American Dad vs. Family Guy, Ryu has a connection to practically all animated shows, because most of them have crossed over one way or another. And of course, we can't forget cartoons. Ryu is directly connected to Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network through his crossover in Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla is another fighting game, but it also features Nickelodeon characters like SpongeBob SquarePants and Aang from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and Cartoon Network characters like Steven Universe and Ben 10. All of these characters have interacted with the rest of their channel universes in some form, usually through crossover episodes or games. But what about live action? Well, let's just go back to Fortnite. Yeah, I know we've been using Fortnite a lot in this video, but there are so many crossovers that it basically just carries the Re-universe on its back. Just like every other category, Fortnite has many collaborations with live action shows, such as Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Cobra Kai, and many more. Honestly, I just can't believe a game like Fortnite is even real. You can hop online as Mr. Beast with the Mark of the Slayer, while squatting up with Omni-Man with the Infinity Gauntlet, Spider-Man 2099 with Pac-Man on his back, Obi-Wan Kenobi doing Gangnam Style, and Ultra Instinct's Goku with an Among Us crewmate. I think solely because of crossovers, this is one of the greatest games ever made. Okay, we've linked Ryu to three major parts of the media universe, being video games, movies, and shows, but what about everything else we missed? It's time we dive into what the rest of the Ryu-universe has to offer, starting with Ryu's crossover in Wreck-It Ralph. Wreck-It Ralph is an animated Disney movie featuring arcade games, and Ryu makes a few cameos throughout the film. But unfortunately, I'm not here to talk about the first movie, because it really doesn't do much in terms of new crossovers and links. I'm referring to the second worst movie, that I'm sure a lot of people have tried to forget, including me. Ralph Breaks the Internet is definitely a movie with a lot of crossovers in it, and we know Ryu is for sure in this sequel because he shows up for 10 seconds in the background while Sonic the Hedgehog explains what the internet is to Ralph. Yeah, so anyways, Ralph goes to the internet. I mean, it's the name of the movie, and you want to know what the internet has? Twitter! Yes, that's right, Ryu is now directly connected to all social media platforms, including Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. There's also like 1,000 other billion-dollar companies and websites like Google, YouTube, Amazon, MySpace, and Carvana for all you Carvana fans out there. So Ryu is directly connected to all of corporate America. Cool! Now, this has been a question I bet some people have been wondering, but how can we connect Ryu to real life? How can we link Ryu to ourselves and the real world outside all of the video games and movies? Well, I'm not gonna be like, oh, Ryu is directly connected to real life because I'm playing as him in Street Fighter, or something like that. That's lame. There are actually many ways we can connect Ryu to ourselves. We could look at Ryu's crossover in Brawlhalla and connect him to The Rock and John Cena, who are real-life people part of WWE. We could also go back to Fortnite, again, and connect Ryu to Mr. Beast, who is also a real person, at least I think. But we actually don't need those other games, because we can just go from Street Fighter itself. Street Fighter 6 just recently had a crossover with none other than Chipotle, the Mexican restaurant, and last time I checked, Chipotle is part of real life. Yes, so anyways, in Street Fighter 6, it's possible to play as a giant Chipotle burrito. And yeah, this is how I'm connecting Ryu to real life. Let's take it one step further actually, and link Ryu to religion. This connection is a bit more complex, so bear with me for a second. Let's start with Ryu in Smash Bros. Both Ryu and the Arcade Bunny are in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The Arcade Bunny is the main mascot of the Nintendo Badge Arcade, which is a cute little 3DS game where you try to pull badges out of a claw machine. This game featured many crossovers over the years with other 3DS franchises, including the Yokai Watch series. The Yokai Watch series has a lot of games, including one mobile game called Yokai Watch Wibble Wobble. Yeah, that's actually the name. Wibble Wobble features the main character of the Beyblade franchise, Tyson Granger. And in the Beyblade Metal Fusion anime, it is canon that Moses parted the Red Sea with a Beyblade. Yes, this actually is a thing. Moses is one of the most important prophets in Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and many other religions. This means we can connect Ryu to religion and even the Bible. We've now connected Ryu to all parts of the media universe, from video games and movies to the Chipotle restaurant 10 minutes away. But where does that leave us now? Well, for the second part of this video, I'm gonna do something interesting. I'm gonna have my friends give me any character they choose from media, and I will connect them all the way to Ryu. I'll do this with the same process I did with connecting Ryu to Moses. We will also assign this character a Ryu number, which counts how many pieces of media we had to cross to connect this character to Ryu. For example, Ryu himself has a Ryu number of 0, Steve from Minecraft has a Ryu number of 1 because they directly interact in Smash Bros. And the Bee from Minecraft has a Ryu number of 2 because we had to go through 2 games to link it to Ryu. Now let's begin. Let's start with Freddy Fazbear. Freddy Fazbear is the main animatronic antagonist of Five Nights at Freddy's, and surprisingly, Five Nights at Freddy's hasn't crossed over with much. The only things I could find were an indie game called Creepy Castle and Pillow Pets. But this is more than enough. Five Nights at Freddy's features other animatronics than Freddy, like Chica. Chica from Five Nights at Freddy's is a playable character in Creepy Castle, an indie RPG that also features other indie collabs, like Plague Knight from the Shovel Knight franchise. Plague Knight is also in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate as a spirit, and as we all know, Ryu is in Super Smash Bros. This gives Freddy Fazbear a Ryu number of 3. Next is Mei from Guilty Gear. Mei is a playable character from the fighting game series Guilty Gear, also known as the girl with the dolphin that yells. Alongside Mei, Baiken is another playable character in the game Guilty Gear Strive, and in order for me to not get demonetized, I'm just going to show you her face. Baiken from Guilty Gear is a guest character in the most recent Samurai Showdown game, which features many original characters, but I'm specifically going to pick Nakoruru for this link. Nakoruru is also a playable character in another fighting game called Capcom vs SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium, which features Ryu as well. Yeah, this connection is entirely fighting game crossovers, which makes sense, but this means that Mei has a Ryu number of 3 as well. Next is Tyler the Creator. Tyler the Creator is one of the biggest music artists of the century, and although he is a real person, we can still connect him to Ryu through video games surprisingly quickly. Tyler the Creator was added as a playable character in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, alongside many others, including the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles also had a crossover in Street Fighter 6 as character outfits, and I'm sure you know, but Ryu is in every Street Fighter game, including 6. This means that Tyler the Creator only has a Ryu number of 2. Speaking of music, I got 2 people asking me for Weezer. Alright, so you people are never gonna believe this, but do you remember Fortnite? Yeah... Okay, so the band members of Weezer aren't actually skins or cosmetics in Fortnite. Rather, there is an official Weezer Island instead. It was made to promote the release of the Black Album, and, well, because Ryu is in Fortnite, this means you can technically play on the Weezer Island as Ryu. So this means that Weezer has a Ryu number of 1. Alright, next is Paul the Chicken. Oh, that guy. Paul's dead. Paul has hatched, and oh my god, I hate this stupid chicken. For those of you who don't know, Paul the Chicken is from the Password game, and he is the bane of my existence. The Password game is a part of series of games on the website neil.fun, which also features other games like Absurd Trolley Problems. There is one particular game on this website that's called Spend Bill Gates' Money, where the name of the game is exactly what you do. This clearly links Paul the Chicken to Bill Gates, and no one can tell me otherwise. I'm sure you already know this, but just in case you didn't, Bill Gates is a real person, and you want to know what else is in real life? Chipotle! Yeah, you can probably guess where this is going. As everyone in the world knows, a Chipotle burrito is officially playable in Street Fighter 6, linking the real world to Ryu in a matter of seconds. Yes, this means that even Paul the Chicken has a Ryu number of 3. Next up is Putt Putt, and let me just say that this little guy is my goat. Putt Putt is the main character of the Putt Putt series, which is full of cute little adventure games for kids, like Putt Putt Travels Through Time, Putt Putt Goes to the Moon, you get the idea. In the game Putt Putt Saves the Zoo, another character named Freddy Fish shows up as a cameo. Freddy Fish is also from his own adventure game series, just like Putt Putt. Freddy Fish makes a small cameo in Backyard Baseball 2005, in the background of the Aquadome stage, and we know for sure that this is Freddy Fish because the game was made by the same developer and the in-game model looks exactly like him. Backyard Baseball has many original characters, but for this link, I'm going to pick Kenny Kawaguchi because he's awesome. Kenny Kawaguchi is also in Backyard Basketball, which officially features many NBA players, including former basketball pro Shaquille O'Neal. This links Putt Putt to Shaq pretty easily. Shaq, as we all know, was a big basketball player in the 2000s, so naturally, he would be in NBA Street v3. But you want to know who else was in NBA Street v3 on the GameCube? Super Mario! Yes, Mario, Luigi, and Peach were all guest stars in the GameCube version of this game. So this means that the Mushroom Kingdom can 3v3 against the Lakers with Shaq. Like, if this isn't the rawest thing you've ever seen in your life, I don't know what is. Of course, both Mario, Luigi, and Peach are all in Smash Bros, which connects directly to Ryu in Smash. This means that we end with Putt Putt having a Ryu number of 5. So, are you satisfied? Ryu truly is the center of the universe. All pieces of media, all characters, everything connects all the way to Ryu in the middle. Finn the Human, he was in Brawlhalla with Ryu. Hatsune Miku, she was in a drum rhythm game with Heihachi Mishima, who is also in Street Fighter Cross Tekken. Ivor from Minecraft Story Mode? Easy, that game had the Minecraft Creeper, who is also in Smash Bros. There is nothing in the world we can't connect to Ryu. Nothing. Absolutely no one. But wait, if there's no one we can't connect, does that mean I'm connected to Ryu? Hey, thank you for watching this video. I've been busy with classes and life in general, so being able to upload this was a big goal for me. Unfortunately, Ryu is right behind me, so I'm ending the video. Also, you should definitely subscribe.